Purple Daily on Score North and ScoreNorth.com.
And welcome in to Vikings Vent Line, the most fan-friendly, interactive show in Minnesota sports. Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel, presented by our friends over at Quick Trip. This is a show where we turn it over to you guys, get your thoughts on every single Vikings game. The way to get on the show is by emailing vikingsventline@gmail.com. And Declan, our wonderful executive producer, will try to get to as many people as possible within the next hour or hour and a half. Keep it clean. We don't want to get fired. That's pretty much the only rule here on Vikings Vent Line. But boys, the Vikings winning streak has hit 5 games. They start out red hot out of the gate at home against the Saints. They put up 20. They're up 24-3 at halftime. Joshua Dobbs is doing Joshua Dobbs things. And then the second half, the offense slowed down a little bit. Saints, who are a good team, by the way, the Saints start to climb back into this game. And the Vikings did what any reasonable team would do when Jameis Winston gets inserted as the backup quarterback. Judd's at US Bank Stadium right now. You just let Jameis Winston do Jameis Winston things and just put up 50-50 balls and intercept them. So we'll get to all the Vikings fans here in a moment. But the Vikings are 6-4 on the season after starting 1-4. Judd, how are things out at US Bank Stadium? But the vibe felt a little nervous in the second half on TV, but they emerged with a victory.
Tale of two different halves, because the first half was absolutely all Dobbs and the defense and TJ Hawkinson, and it felt like really relaxed. And I tweeted this. It felt like a recess football game because Dobbs is just making up plays, it looks like. I mean, at one point, he's rolling right, and he looks, and I think he sees a bunch of Saints jerseys, so he just goes to his left instead.
Yeah.
The second half, though, definitely tailed off, and I don't know if it was a credit to the Saints or the Vikings play calling changing. It just felt like it was very different halves. But you know what? As you said, in the end, I think Jameis Winston actually got the Saints closer than Carr could have. But that being said, he also self-destructed in impressive fashion. Those last 2 picks, I have no idea what he was thinking. In both cases, they were moving down the field. But, I mean, he's throwing it like he basically threw a better Hail Mary pass with 6 seconds left in this game than he did on the 2 that got picked because they were just so incredibly stupid. Yeah. But nonetheless, some definitely questionable decisions, including from Kevin O'Connell in the second half. But this was fun. Just for future reference, when you're up and it's 4th and 3 and you are in the opposing team's territory, you don't need to try to kick a 54-yard field goal because that miss by Joseph and the subsequent scoring drive really gave the Saints life and hope. And what I don't get about that attempt is it's 4th and 3. And by the way, if Joseph misses that kick, the Saints field position improves substantially. So I'm very confused by that. But to your point, Phil, 5 consecutive wins. Josh Dobbs' mania remains intact. And you know what I found out today? Ty Chandler can run the football.
Oh, isn't it
Ty Chandler? Ty Chandler can run the football. You mean the
guy that runs a 4.3 40-yard dash who was a bell cow running back his last year in college? When you let him take the football, he can do some good things. Shocking.
Did you realize that?
I didn't until today. No, it's the first time his name has ever come up on this show currently. I would say, I know that I feel like the angst over why did things slow down in the second half has almost overtaken just some of the feel-good vibes of, let's zoom out here for a second, folks. The Vikings today were playing with the 4th quarterback on their depth chart because Nick Mullins was the 2nd quarterback, and he hurt his back in practice, right? And then Jaron Hall. They're playing with the 4th quarterback on their depth chart, a journeyman, mostly backup, who got here 11 days ago. No Justin Jefferson, no KJ Osborne, no Cam Akers, TJ Hawkinson, who had a marvelous game despite every time he hit the ground, you could just feel the shooting pain going through his rib cage, like he's got this flak jacket on. So you're down all these weapons. You're still like the guy you playing at quarterback right now is still like getting to know his teammates for the first time. And you put up 27 points. They put up 31 and 27 points in back-to-back wins over the Falcons and the Saints. And so I know that's like, oh, why did things slow down? Well, the Saints are a good team. They were favored by 3 going into this game. It's the best turnover defense in the NFL. They were probably going to show some fight in the second half and make an adjustment, right? So I think my biggest takeaway just right after this game ends is don't let the second half stalling of the offense make you not feel good about this win. This is a great win for the Vikings in a game in which easily could have been a letdown after an emotional victory. The whole week was a media tour for Joshua Dobbs and Kevin O'Connell, and they put it all behind them, and they beat the Saints 27-19 at home today. So, Dex, what are your thoughts coming off this game?
Yeah, I have a couple hot takes in the chamber that I have written down for obviously the Monday edition, and we'll see what the gunslinger and myself decides to fire for that bullet. But it was just very strange to me that game was mostly on cruise control in the first half. And honestly, there was a little bit of these Vikings and Saints games play like this a lot. Vikings get up to a comfortable lead, and then the Saints come marching back. The Vikings shoot themselves in the foot with conservative play calling or just ineffective plays. And that's just kind of how these have gone, from the Minneapolis Miracle to the Kirk Dagger to Thielen. It kind of goes like that for these two teams. But I thought Kevin O'Connell's PJ Fleck basically type of coaching in the second half almost cost them this game. But at the same time, I'm kind of leaning more towards Phil and having more of the level-headed approach of, hey, you just picked up your 5th straight win. If the Lions lose today, you're a half game back of the division lead, which is also bonkers. Dude. So at the end of the day, I think there's still more positives outweigh these negatives.
Yes, dude, I think this was a really good win today. And okay, maybe if they had, scored an extra touchdown or something in the second half, you feel a little bit better about it. But hey, before we get to a bunch of Vikings fans, Judd, let's tell the audience about Quick Trip and why we enjoy ourselves a trip to the best gas station and convenience store in the Twin Cities and beyond.
Yep, absolutely. It's because it is your place, as we've been talking about for weeks now, for one-stop shopping. As Phil said, gasoline, breakfast, lunch, dinner, the great Karuba coffee, and also your place to win. In fact, how about this? The Gatorade Border Battle Sweepstakes is on right now. Purchase any Gatorade product with Quick Trip rewards to be automatically entered. Chance to win 2 group cabin suite tickets to the New Year's Eve game between the Vikings and Packers right here at US Bank Stadium. The prize pack includes a one-night standard hotel accommodations and a Quick Trip gift card. No purchase necessary. Just go to quicktrip.com/sweepstakes. That's quicktrip.com/sweepstakes for full details of how to be here on New Year's Eve to watch the Vikings in a game I'm guessing they're going to be favored against the Packers. Packers lose again today.
Yes, they did. They lost at home, right, to the Steelers today? Was it Pittsburgh. In Pittsburgh? So in Pittsburgh today. And thank you guys for hanging out with us here on Vikings Vent Line. If you haven't already, please click that subscribe button and the like button on the Purple Daily YouTube channel. And away we go. Declan, who's first out of the gate?
All right, let's go to Jason to start us off here. Hey, Jason, what's up, man? You're on Vent Line.
Hey, fellas. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man.
So I just had a couple things. First of all, shout out to all the veterans and their families, and their sacrifices that they gave. And this is the time that we need to recognize them. So, but I just had a couple things. First of all, how fun is it to watch Dobbs? I mean, some of those plays, Kirk will just sit in that pocket and just take the rush and just go down. And then Dobbs is just fighting for his life out there, gets extra yards, makes extra plays. It just opens up our play action. And, the defense has to account for not only Madison or now whoever, Chandler, whoever, but they have to account for Dobbs and play pass defense. So it's just so fun to watch that. And then I kind of had I don't know if it's really a hot take, maybe Lawyer Chase needs to chime in on this one, but I just think our cornerbacks are getting a bad rap. I mean, I think they're playing, today, last few weeks, they've been playing just out of their mind, but they get a bad rap. We blitz, I think the stat was 54% of the time, there's games where we blitz 80% of the time. And they're left out on an island. When you blitz, you leave those guys just on their own, whether they're playing zone or man. And, I just think they're fighting for their life. They get a bad rap. I think Murphy gets a bad rap. But, it's just fun to see this team playing now. Just, caution to the wind. Let's just go at it.
Yeah, it's Jason, thanks for coming on, man. Yeah.
His Dobbs point is spot on. That first half was as much fun as I've had watching a regular season, just, week 10 type of game. As I've had in ages. I would liken it. They're not the same player, but I would liken the enjoyment to watching Keenum, because it's just like they're making plays from nothing. Now Case could scramble, but he can't run like Dobbs can. But it's just so much fun to see a quarterback who, and look, okay, I'm about to say something that's going to sound like
just say it, dude. Just say it.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's so much fun to watch a quarterback who does not tense up in a moment, who is not tense, who is playing free, easy. At times, I think is doing his own thing. So, like, that's the difference, I think, in the enjoyment of a pocket passer who knows what he is supposed to do and almost has to do to have success, and Dobbs, who, again, on one play is literally rolling right. He's a dead duck. He knows it and says, screw it, and he just reverses and goes left. That's fun to watch.
Yeah, and he's like, I mean, it's kind of crazy. I didn't know how mobile he was. Like, I knew he was a mobile quarterback in college and, saw some flashes with, was it Tennessee for a couple games last year and the Cardinals. You saw him running some touchdowns in with the Cardinals. But when you watch him on a play-by-play basis, that dude is crazy athletic. He has the second most quarterback rushing yards this year behind Lamar Jackson, which puts into like more than Jalen Hurts.
Yeah.
So, and it's a lot of, they ran a couple called runs. They had one for a first down. The one at the end of the game, he just slipped on the turf. That would have ended the game. So they had a couple little like called option plays for him, but I got to think that those are going to become even more prominent going forward.
Yeah, the aerial view of his rushing touchdown in the first half was insane. I mean, like when you were watching it on TV, it was impressive that he was able to juke around a little bit and roll, but the overhead view of that play is Lamar Jackson. Like, it's a Lamar Jackson, Mike Vick in his peak, like insane scramble ability that not many people can just have that in their back pocket.
Yeah. All right, let's get to somebody else here. Vikings Vent Line on the Purple Daily YouTube channel.
All right, let's go to Matt next year. What's up, Matt? You're on Vent Line.
Hey, thanks for having me. First time, I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on the Danielle Hunter penalty, where he got his helmet ripped off, and then he got called on the illegal hands to the face.
Yeah, that
great
was
game.
Super weird. Weird.
Just looking to hear you guys' thoughts on that. Thanks for having me on. First time on. Awesome.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt. Matt and Mankato. I think I'd love to see. They only showed like one replay of it, and they showed it from the angle where it was obvious that Hunter's helmet popped off, but we didn't see what the officials saw with Danielle putting hands in face. But yeah, I don't know how a play can finish and two guys are hand fighting. One guy's helmet gets ripped off, and he's the one that gets called. And then I think that went on to be a Saints touchdown drive. So, that was a huge play that kind of kept the Saints in that game. So, I don't know. I'd like to see another look at it, but it did feel suspicious and weird that was a penalty on Danielle Hunter.
Well, and on the Chandler 32-yard touchdown run, Brian O'Neill was called for holding, but I couldn't tell if he held or the Saints guy almost like went into him and tackled him. That was also a very close call there. And if the Vikings score there, I think it goes to 34-19 at that point, and the game's basically done. But that was I'm not saying it was a terrible call, but I'm not sure I saw what the officials saw.
It was I think it was a hold on O'Neill because it was a classic veteran move where it was like a Kent Herbeck
guys
Ron
coming into
Gant
him.
play at first base. Oh, he's coming into me. I'm just gonna fall over.
Yep.
But he clearly had his hand on the defender's back as he was kind of pulling him down. It almost worked. All right,
Nice
who's
run
next?
by Chandler.
It was very explosive. Yes.
Let's go to Tom next year on Vent Line. Hey, Tom.
Nice.
What's up, man?
Tom.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, how we doing, guys? Skull.
What's up, Tom?
Hey, how about that game? Hey, shout out to Nutrisource.
Oh, who's a good pup?
Oh,
This is Nikki.
Nicky.
Nicky.
Hey,
Oh.
Dex, you guys got to make sure you send me an address so I can get you guys a gift. I make these plaques.
That's a
Nice.
before I
That's
die
awesome,
plaque,
man.
dude. That is incredible.
Yeah, I'll
Wow.
come hang it up for you, Dex. Because
Shoot us an email. Yeah, we can put it up right
I'll come
behind
hang it up
Dex's
for you,
head.
Dex.
Thanks, buddy.
Hey, so we got to extend Danielle Hunter. We got to get that guy under contract. He is a huge game changer on the defense. We got to keep that guy. How about that trick play with Ty Chandler, motioning out Dobbs, direct snack to Chandler right into the end zone, bada bing, bada boom. There's your creativity with KOC, which leads me to my next point. Kurt's not coming back. I just don't think he's coming back. With KOC, he's comfortable and he's confident. You can tell he's confident. He's loving the what's going on the sideline. Even with all the injuries we've had, he can keep the team together. It's great. I love KOC. Bright things in the future, guys. I love you guys. Love the show. Thanks for everything you guys do. Make sure you guys send me an address so I can get these
Love
to
that,
you.
dude.
I have 3 of them waiting for you guys.
Oh my God.
I have
Dude,
3 of
that's
them waiting
amazing.
for you guys. Nutrisource. Hey, Skull, let's go, baby. Hey, go Chargers.
You're
Beat
awesome.
the Lions. Beat the Lions.
Let's go.
Chargers.
Tom, thanks for coming on, dude.
Great
We can
stuff,
connect with Tom via email.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again,
There you go.
Josh Dobbs just got here a week and a half ago. So all of this is a testament to Kevin O'Connell too, of like, okay, you can just kind of bring a guy in who, like, he's got to be a certain level of talent, but you can just kind of bring a guy in and the Vikings are going to score 31 points and 27 points. And, there's really no reason to be paying top of the market money for a quarterback if you can get a quarterback in here who makes a lot less and spend the other resources. So right now we'll see. Like, if Dobbs falls on his face and the Vikings don't draft a quarterback in the first round or something, a lot can change in the next 6 to 8 months. But the better they play without Kirk Cousins, the less they need Kirk Cousins, 36 years old, coming off an Achilles, unless he wants to come back on a really team-friendly contract, right?
Why would you want a pocket passer now, though? Like we've seen, and the first half I loved. Now, I think O'Connell tried to rein it in a little bit in the third and fourth quarters, which I would advise him not to do. When Dobbs scored that crazy touchdown, I watched O'Connell, and he's just like shaking his head, like smiling, like, what the heck was that? But it scored. But after what we've seen through 2 games, why would you want a quarterback who can't run? It would make no sense.
Yeah, I mean, and look what's happening with like Mac Jones in New England. Okay, things get a little foggy. You don't have, like, maybe your weapons are hurt. If there's not another way to gain first downs and score touchdowns, then it just becomes a lot tougher in today's NFL. But I think in the second half, Dennis Allen's a defensive coach. There's some good players on that defense. The Saints secondary is one of the best secondaries in the NFL going into the game, and you're playing without 2 of your top 3 wide receivers, and your tight end's hobbled, and he's probably getting more hurt as the game's going on. That's one thing I'd like to know. I mean, TJ Hawkinson looked like he was in severe pain a couple times. It might be in the second half that, hey, defense adjusted, our quarterback's only been here for 11 days, our weapons are depleted, they've just kind of got our number right now in the second half, so let's just land the plane without doing anything stupid. That was the sense I got.
Yeah, and that's why I actually didn't like the 4th and 3 call, because that was becoming conservative when you shouldn't. Like, this is a game where, and this was up to O'Connell, you got to put the foot on the gas and put it to the floor and end them. And you sort of were like, I don't know about that. But anyway, my grand point is this: after what we've seen in 2 games, why would you want O'Connell to have a quarterback who is even a good one-trick pony? Because that's what Kirk is. He's a good one-trick guy. I'd far prefer a guy that can complete passes. Dobbs is not Kirk, but you know what? He can complete passes. We saw that. And most importantly, he can take off. Like, I think that is so huge in today's game.
Let's keep it rocking here. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
All right, let's go to Nate next here. Nate, what's up, man? You're on Vent Line.
I'm feeling pretty good, man. How about those Vikings going up to 6-4, 5 in a row? Not a lot of teams can say that recently, but I'm hearing a lot of people say, KOC's play calling in the second half, too conservative. It almost cost us the game. I'd love to almost lose the rest of the games in the season. I'd love to almost lose a few playoff games. Isn't the goal to almost lose the Super Bowl? But, at the end of the day, you look back at it and people say it'll be a trend for KOC, that conservative play calling in the second half of games where we're up big. The Packers game last year, the Bears game last year, this game, they won all 3 of those games. So, it is uncomfortable, and it's not always the easiest on the nerves. But, hey, if he's winning, I don't see a problem with it.
Yeah, thank you for coming in here, Nate. The most conservative was probably the 3rd and 10 draw play, where that was like a true waving of, they literally said, we're just going to punt it right back to you because we think Jameis Winston's going to throw a pick. And they were right. Give Jameis Winston 10 to 15 throws, he's throwing at least 1 interception, probably 2 to that defense.
It's unbelievable. Yeah. Yes.
Who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Let's go to Brady next year. Brady, what's up, dude? Ooh,
Brady, wow, repping the brand. A little before I
Brady.
die. I love it, dude.
Old school before I die. That's an original can. Very nice, Brady.
Fair disclaimer, I tried to collect them. So being over in Eau Claire, Wisconsin, don't get much of the before I dies, but I got 4 bullet points. First one, Josh Dobbs, not as great as Kirk Cousins. I think we can all agree on that.
Mm-hmm.
But was it not great to get that exciting new fresh of life? Pocket collapses, you see it, play breaking down, you go, typical Viking fan, hey, here's the play done. Oh, hey, here we go, extend it. My wife's really not into football, and she goes, wow, can we really extend plays after the pocket collapse? I go, yep, that is the thing. She's a huge Josh Allen fan, so it was kind of nice to see her get into that. 2, Ty Chandler looked really good with limited snaps. Number 3, KOC. It was awesome to see him not only prioritize Josh Dobbs in the limited snaps in the practice this week, but to get Ty Chandler, third-string running back, in wildcat formation to take snaps to get a touchdown. That kind of blew my mind. Kind of cool to see a Viking running back do that. Last thing, most important, God bless Veterans Day this Sunday. Thank you for all that's out there. God bless. And Skull Vikes 6-4, number 7 seed. Let's go.
Awesome, man. Brady,
Nice,
thanks
Brady.
for coming
Thank
in. Great stuff from Brady. Repping that. That's Surly. Let's keep it rocking here. Get some good momentum here with our Vent Line guests.
All right, let's go to Cody next here. Hey,
All
Cody,
right.
what's up, dude?
Oh, good day to watch a Vikings game, right? But I want to start off by saying this. We do not have a kicking problem. Just to get Phil and Judd going. Also, I think the reason why the Saints even had a chance in this game is because I think we went so one-dimensional on offense, just trying to run the ball. I get that you got a lead, but put them down, just keep scoring. Beat them down mentally on in the game so they don't try and score anymore. Just beat them down. Make them give up. Also, what was I going to say? Ty Chandler, obviously needs to play more than Madison. I think Wangwu looked all right too, even though he only got a couple plays. But to me, Chandler's the number one. Got to be the number one. And I'll shut up now and let you talk.
Awesome, man. Cody. Yeah, thanks for coming on,
Good
Cody.
stuff, Cody.
Yeah,
I think we saw.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was good. I think in the second half, we also saw what's going to be the solution here, which is Chandler on third down is coming out of the game, which, by the way, I'm fine with. So he can't block. Okay. And that is when, so like that defines to me a role for Ham. Ham's going to come in. He's rarely going to touch the ball. That's also fine. And he's going to block. That's fine.
And he'll be a
so
check down outlet. Yep.
Yeah. Which again, all of which works. But the fact that Chandler and the first Wangwu carry, we saw this too. And here's the difference. Madison can bounce outside, but he doesn't put his foot in the ground and go. You watch Chandler literally, and Kane can do the same thing. I don't think he's as good a back. But anyway, both those guys, if they're outside zone, they put their foot in the ground and they're going to get yards. They're not going to go sideways, out the side. They're going to get some yards. And to me, that's what I want. I want a running back. I want a running back who makes, if I run play action, a threat instead of an empty promise.
Ty Chandler, by the way, so after a fast start, the Saints defense just bottled up the Vikings running game. So he did finish with just 3 yards a carry, 15 carries for 44 yards. Madison was about 3.5 yards a carry, 8 carries for 27. And the Wangwu had his only 2 carries, I think, of the season so far with the 2 for 9. So at the end of the day, the Vikings, with the 8 carries by Dobbs, they ran the ball 33 times for $124, 3.8 yards per carry, but they landed the plane. That's all that you really could ask in the second half. And then they get another week of practice. You got the Broncos right now on Sunday Night Football next week. So,
but this makes the run game a threat. Like, that's my thing. It has to become a threat, and it is now. It's a threat. With Cousins and Madison, it was an empty promise. So, I actually like the fact that they're going to now go into games and teams say, we have to be careful of the Vikings run. Because guess what? 2 weeks ago, nobody said that.
Yeah, Madison, it's been 2 calendar years since he's ripped off a 20-yard run. So now Chandler, it's not like he has a bunch, but he runs a 4.3 40, so I'm a little more confident. He's had a couple that have been called back because of penalties, so maybe he can get one that stands up. Let's keep it rocking here on Vikings Vent Line, Dex.
All right, let's go to Hawk for the win. What's up, dude? You're on Vent Line. This guy looks like TJ. It might be TJ Hawkinson.
This is actually TJ Hawkinson right here. Right. He's calling in from the locker room.
First off, congrats. It's been watching for a couple of years. It's really hard to get on now because you got a whole bunch of other purple listeners and watchers. So congrats on the show doing so well. 2 questions for you. One short-term, one long-term. Short-term question. Wife and I are going to the Packers-Viking game on New Year's Eve. Besides Surly, do you have any must-stop locations in Minneapolis? Because it's been a while since I've been.
We have to shout out our friends, okay, at 3 Jack, legitimate, awesome place in the North Loop, and Park Tavern in St. Louis Park. If you're staying downtown, that's a short Uber ride. So I would start with those 2 for sure, because they're great for us. We legitimately, all of us, go to those places on a regular basis. If you're looking like in the Minneapolis area too, there's some cool, like if you wanted to go to like the Four Seasons has like a winter sort of like cabin setup on one of their levels. The Hewing Rooftop is great for like skyline viewing. I would recommend that. My wife and I were there a couple nights ago, getting a couple cocktails. So that's a pretty good list to start with, I would say. And St. Anthony, Maine, the old brick street from like the 1800s. Go to St. Anthony, Maine, and stare at the stadium from across the river.
Sounds good. I don't know. We'll stop at plenty of quick trips along the way. There's no shortage of quick trips here in Wisconsin.
Right. Yes.
Get that Kruger coffee.
One long-term question. Doesn't need an answer now, but just could be food for thought for the week. I'm having just as much fun as everybody else in here on the Josh Dobbs experience. I'm just wondering, is this another 2017 Case Keenum? Where do we find out, is this a lot of fun and then what if next year? Or do you actually bring him back and see if it's sustainable? Other than that, again, thanks for having me on. I'll turn my time to everybody else and you guys, but food for thought. Is this another Case Keenum experiment?
Well, there's so much irony in what's happening right now in that they might, they're 6-4. They might get into the playoffs. Maybe they win a game, which Judd has kind of said it feels like they might win a playoff game this year. But then they get beat. And at the end of the season, they might look around and say, boy, we got a defense that gets after opponents. We got some good young players flying around the ball. We got weapons on offense. You know what we need is the fun. We don't trust this backup quarterback to do it again next year, just like they said with Case Keenum in 2017. Kirk Cousins was supposed to be the thing that got them over the top in 2018.
Yeah.
Could they turn back to Kirk in 2024 and say, all we need is Kirk Cousins to be the final piece to this puzzle?
First of all, in fairness to Dobbs, it's way too early to diagnose that because I've thought the exact same thing, but he's played 2 games now, or parts of 2 games, 1 full game, and came in relief early on of Jaron Hall against the Falcons. So I think it's far too early to diagnose it. I would say you can look at this if you're a Vikings fan in 2 ways. One is enjoy the ride. Because if this is a glass slipper like Keenum was, it was still a lot of fun. Yes, it did end with a level of heartbreak. Not the worst, in my opinion, because we've seen worse. But anyway,
yeah.
But the other thing is, if you're looking for a long-term, you can sink your teeth in, it's this. It looks like O'Connell has the secret sauce to develop quarterbacks and to get the most from them. With Keenum, once he was gone, they literally turned to Kirk because they had no answers from an inside the building standpoint. They didn't feel that they knew how to draft a quarterback. They didn't feel clearly that they could identify one. And so they went and got a guy that had been self-made or made in Washington. Now, I think the hope doesn't have to be Dobbs. The hope is this. If O'Connell is as good with quarterbacks as he looks, you can find one who can now, for probably a much less expensive Kirk Cousins, can develop under O'Connell. So I think that I think 1, right now, this is fun. That's awesome. But 2, I have a lot more confidence in the people in that building, namely Kevin O'Connell, know what they're looking at, which I would argue the Spielman, and really, even Brad to a certain degree, but certainly Frazier and Zimmer, they never knew quarterback-wise exactly what they were looking at.
Yeah. Let's keep it rocking here on Vikings Vent Line Purple Daily YouTube channel.
Let's go to Ray next year. What's up, Ray? How are you?
What's up, guys? Thank you so much for having me on. First time venter. Love the content. You guys are amazing.
Dude.
Yes. Couple positive things to throw out, couple critiques, and then I want to leave you guys with a question. Similar question to the last caller. 2 pieces of positive things to call out. Brian Flores. Whatever we have to do to keep this guy in purple and gold, do it. If that is a raise, if that is making him the assistant coach, that guy is amazing to watch. We need to retain him for as long as possible. TJ Hawkinson, the grit that we saw from him today, he was hurt every time he got hit, and he just played amazing throughout that first half.
Yeah.
So it was awesome to be able to rely on him. 2 critiques. Maybe a critique. This is painfully obvious. It's Ty Chandler time, guys. Whatever you want to call it. Burst, speed. Whenever the guy gets tackled at the line of scrimmage, it's always positive yardage. We cannot say the same thing for Madison. It is absolutely Ty Chandler time. Critique number 2, whatever KOC's process is for what to challenge and what not to challenge, it needs some work. So whoever's giving him feedback on that, I think we need to work on that process. My question for you guys, okay? What would you guys need to see from Josh Dobbs to say, this is my quarterback of the future? Not just for 2023, not just 2024. What would it take for the Purple Daily team to commit to Josh Dobbs to say, this is my quarterback of the future? Yeah. You guys are amazing. Skull, thank you so much for letting me on, guys.
Ray, thank you, man.
Thanks, Ray.
Appreciate you coming on here. So that feels like a fun topic to explore over like a full show at some point, maybe later this week. But I don't think there's anything he can do the rest of this season short of just a Patrick Mahomes level final 7 games and a trip to the Super Bowl. Like, there's no way I'm signing him to like a crazy contract. If they keep winning, that's awesome. I think the contract I would be looking at, I brought this up to you guys on one of the shows last week, is the Geno Smith contract. I think we talked about this on Feedback Friday. That, okay, he plays well for a half season. It doesn't prevent you necessarily from drafting a quarterback that you love in the first or second round. But Geno Smith signed a 3-year deal for $25 million a year, which is $30 million less per year than the top quarterbacks in the NFL. I think Geno ranks like 18th in average annual value for quarterback salaries. And it was like 2 years of guarantees. So if Geno flames out for the Seahawks, it doesn't prevent them from drafting a quarterback. They could make him the backup in his second year on that contract. He'd be an expensive backup, but then you're done with the contract, right? So I would be looking for, okay, maybe Josh Dobbs plays his way into like a Geno Smith situation, a Geno Smith contract. Now you know who your quarterback is in 2024. Doesn't prevent you from drafting somebody. Opens up some possibilities for bringing in other free agents because you're not spending, top 5 money at that position. Kirk Cousins has had top 3 cap hits in 3 of the 5 years before this. A top 5 cap hit one of the other years. And the only 2 years that he hasn't had a top 5 cap hit, they've shoved money into like void years. So like this year, he's not a top 5 cap hit. He's like, I think he's just outside the top 10, but $28 million is being, from accounting standpoint, shoved into next year. So they're going to have to deal with that huge chunk, even if he's not the quarterback. So a Geno Smith contract is something to maybe watch. Let's keep it rocking here. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
All right, let's go to, is it Jared?
Yes, sir. What's going on, fellas?
What's going on, dude?
Are
we wearing the same? I've got the 1998 NFC Central.
Yes. Central.
Is that what you have on too?
Central Division.
That's awesome.
98.
Do like Central Division hats. Let's go. Oh, funny thing happened in 1998 too. They brought a backup quarterback in, Randall Cunningham, and they made a nice little run.
Yeah, right. First off, thanks guys for having me on. I've been a dedicated subscriber since I think 2018. You guys definitely give me my purple fix every week, man. Therapy is like we all need. But watching the game, man, it was definitely a reminder of what we could be if we actually, split the philosophy up to now something different. And that's the thing I'm really excited about is this mid-season change in philosophy. of how it can really shake up everybody that's game planning towards us. As far as being able to have a mobile quarterback, I'm not gonna lie. I was watching Dobbs from the beginning of the season because I was paying attention to the whole situation he had where he was trying to get himself a jersey after he was trying to get his own jersey and they didn't have it. And I started paying attention. I was like, not a bad quarterback as far as just, from the eye test. And then Lord beholds, we get him, and then it's like sky's the limit with the type of offense that we can be able to have. But I'm not gonna lie. At halftime, I was like, "Is this going to be the first dominant win we've had in about 3 years?" And then, and just like we always do, true Vikings fashion, we make it close. But it's exciting time. I mean, I think one thing about us as a team, our franchise, we always make it interesting in these kind of seasons. Don't want to get our hopes up too much, though. You know how that goes. We always get numb to these type of things. Yeah. But I'm here for the ride, man. I'm happy to see what we do. I'm a Kirk fan. I like Kirk, but just like you said, Judd, this possibility with a scrambling quarterback just shows what we can do as far as having KOC as an offensive mind. And I think really as us as fans is like you said, enjoy the ride. Don't think about next season until the off season because Kirk not going to be available till next year to even discuss anything. Just enjoy what we can do right now, get everybody back healthy, and just see what KOC can work with this magic. The defense is lovely, though. I love everything about Brian Flores. He brought the attitude that we was missing last year. I feel like if we just had that same aggressiveness, we would have been able to pull away in a lot of those games last year. And it's like that's what we needed, So, and hopefully, I'm a Kene Nwangwu fan. I don't know. I like Kene. I want to see him get some more chances just as a way of a change of pace. I like Ty, too. And I like Madison, but I like them in his role when we had Dalvin, like being able to stay in between the tackles. I think we put him outside the tackles too many times. He don't have the agility to get around that corner and, but I ain't going to hold you guys up. Thank you for having me. Hopefully I can get back on, man, and score Vikes, baby.
Awesome, man.
Thanks, Jared.
Jared, thanks for coming on, man. Appreciate you. Yeah. Hey, before we keep rocking here, so a few people have shouted out Nutrisource. So let's talk about Nutrisource for a second. It is the official dog and pet food of Purple Daily and Score North. And in fact, Maya was just in here asking me, is it time? Is it time yet? No, it's probably like another hour until it's dinner time. It's like Maya thinks dinner time is an hour before dinner time, but that's because she loves Nutrisource chicken and rice. Oh. Look at Vinny. Vinny's power napping
He's
before
checked
dinner.
Out.
It's like,
he's just checked out. Stella gets mad. She starts every day at 4:00. It's dinner time, right? It's dinner time. And I'm like,
always
the
not
Nutrisource at 5:00, Stella.
And then 5 o'clock.
And then the time changed, and she's like, no, this is BS. You're an idiot. Give me my food. But you know what? She loves it, and she absolutely adores the training rewards treats, which are not only good for her, but they're healthy as well. So yes, Nutrisource, the way to go if you want a healthy and happy puppy.
Yes. The Vinster in the flesh, Maya,
yes,
Stella, all sorts of love for Nutrisource. Nutrisource pet foods. She's in the press box, actually. I heard her.
She's out there. You stupid.
NutrisourcePetFoods.com to find a Nutrisource retailer near you. And so something cool this week. So it's Give to the Max Day this Thursday. And here on Purple Daily and at Score North, we are partnering up with Secondhand Hounds, which is a nonprofit animal rescue based in Minnesota that provides safe shelter for our furry friends. Proper veterinary care, daily necessities for animals at risk. They take in animals at risk. They take care of them, and they work hard to find a permanent, loving home for those dogs at Secondhand Hounds. And so all week long at scorenorth.com/donate, we're encouraging all of you animal and dog lovers out there to pitch in however much you feel comfortable with at scorenorth.com/donate. And our friends at Nutrisource will be matching up to $1,000 raised. So we'd love to raise some money for a great cause. Secondhand Hounds, we're all dog guys on this show. And we love when you bring your dogs on the show with you when you come on Vikings Vent Line here. So let's keep it going. Judd is at US Bank Stadium. Declan is spinning all sorts of plates. And I'm just, I guess, the organizer here. Who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Let's go to Dez next here. Dez, what's up, man? How are you?
Hey, guys. Been listening to you from Connecticut. Love you.
We love you, Dez.
I just have a couple of points I want to make. Really, the first one, watching that game, I was thinking about what Mackey always says. I want to see the Vikings blow out a team. and really put them down. And the fact that we couldn't do it, and I always thought it was a Kirk thing. I always thought it was him, grinding his teeth, clenching his jaw, like not doing it. But I think it's a Kevin O'Connell thing. I think he is kind of like Kirk in that way, and that's why this marriage between the two has worked. So I think Kevin O'Connell really would probably go back to Kirk if it was at the right price. Really, the second point I wanted to make was I actually want to see Jaren Hall play once he's healthy, because Josh Dobbs is great, and I think there's two scenarios with him. If he does really good, he's going to hit the open market and get a really big contract. We're not going to be able to afford him. And if he plays bad, then he's bad. Jaren Hall is under contract for a few years. So I'd rather see what he's got. And if Kevin O'Connell is this QB guru, let's get him to develop our in-house draft picks. Let him play. Thanks, guys.
Des, thanks for coming on. I could see a world where, let's say they decide for whatever reasons, injury, age, that, hey, this is the end for Kirk. Thanks for 6 years. Really, really tough situation. I could see a scenario where they bring Josh Dobbs back on like a 2-year deal for less than franchise quarterback money, but like more than backup money. Jaren Hall's already under contract, and they still draft a guy in like the late first round and just have 3 guys in the quarterback room that, hey, may the best man win. San Francisco, Philadelphia, like they've both done that in the past.
So if Scene is going to be blamed as a Kwesi pick, and I don't know if that was a Donatel pick or Kwesi, but they definitely traded back. Addison, no question, was a KOC pick. I think that there would be a very good chance that the team would, especially if you can get Hunter re-signed, sign off on O'Connell picking a quarterback first round. Mm-hmm. Like that would make total sense. And if Dobbs comes back, and let's say you're drafting, I don't know, let's say you get one at 20 something. There would be a case to be made that Dobbs could come back and start, allowing the first round QB to develop, which I would have no problem with for up to a year. After that, it's dicey because it's 5 years of team control. So I don't want this in perpetuity. But I could see a definite case where you try to pair a veteran quarterback with a draft pick who's not a top 5 draft pick, and see if you can develop that guy sort of behind the scenes for a soft launch at some point. Yes, I agree. But this is, to me, this is all on, can you get Hunter back? Because if you can't get Hunter back, Wanham's going to walk. I think Davenport has proven he can't stay on the field enough. I think then you got to look long and hard at defense and a guy that can rush from the edge. But if you get Daniil back, I think you put yourself in a pretty good position to do some experimentation at quarterback that you're confident in, because the confidence in O'Connell, quarterback-wise, has to be super high right now.
Yep. Let's keep rocking here. 45 minutes into a Vikings victory celebration here on Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel. Dex, who's next?
Let's go to Vikings Gamer, 43-34.
Viking Gamer.
Hey, guys. What's up?
Let's go, dude. What's going on?
So I got some bullet points. One, DJ Wanham looked really good today. He was actually really good. He came in when Hunter couldn't get in. Ivan Pace, the rush is fantastic. 2, Ty Chandler needs to be on the field more. We need to see more Ty Chandler. And also, today is pretty special. It was Veterans Day yesterday, and my grandpa's favorite team was San Francisco 49ers. He died recently this year. So it was really cool to see both teams kind of win. I wish we could have dominated more, but otherwise, yeah, pretty good day.
Awesome, man. Viking Gamer, dude. Your setup in there is pretty badass.
Thank you.
What's on the wall back there? Is that like a painted wall, or it's like, okay,
no, is that Zelda?
It's actually it's Norse Viking stuff. It's a tapestry.
Dude, I love that. We need some more ideas for Declan. There, we could hang a. What if it was a blanket we could hang and then take it off after the show?
It's looking a little plain. Like, yeah, gotta get some color back there.
Hey, thanks for coming on, Viking Gamer 4334. Let's keep rocking here. Judd, also in the press box, we should be able to spruce up the back of the press box. It's just purple walls. You think they'd care if we just started putting like Surly logos up?
What's over
here? We got
there?
Not an exit.
Not an exit.
This is not an exit. And then on the other side here, we've got team history.
That's right.
Okay.
So like it just so happens that I am in a boring purple backdrop, but there was plenty of cool backdrops around.
This is very first world problems, but there have been some Saturday, Sunday mornings that I've woken up and all I've been thinking about is the omelet bar at the US Bank Stadium press box. One of the best omelet bars
It was on today.
I have
It was on
ever
today.
experienced in my life.
It was
I
on.
miss it dearly.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I haven't done the pregame. I used to do the Metrodome pregame back in the day, where it was like
God, it was awful.
the chicken fingers that had been out for like 4
They're
hours.
like hockey pucks.
Yeah, but it was like the only food, so you just kind of it was either that or bring a granola bar. But pretty much every home game this year, I've been just perusing around the plaza, perusing around tailgates, and is it called the Lodge, the big like outdoor, like the glass bar out
The
there
Vikings
too.
zone. Yep.
Dude, they do a great job with their pregame setup. There's that Wells Fargo lawn out there too.
Oh yeah,
it was a blast. In fact, I've been making a note every week to just chart like the favorite obscure Vikings jerseys that I see walking around pregame. Today we saw 3 Moeldy Moore jerseys. 3.
Wow.
Yeah. A Tyler Conklin jersey, a Superstar Mike Morris jersey, number 68.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
EJ Henderson, and then 2 different Michael Bennett jerseys as well today, walking around the plaza.
Well, that's a throwback. So how strong was the Dobbs jersey representation?
So I didn't see any actual Dobbs jerseys, but I did see 3 different people take their previous, like Stephon Diggs. Like some guy had a Stephon Diggs, and then did he change? No, because he was 14. Right? He didn't change the number, but he changed.
There were Teddies I saw.
There's people who are altering their jerseys. Yeah, and
or masking tape 1 was put in front of the Teddy 5. I did see one of those.
So, but apparently there are actually Dobbs jerseys in some of the like Vikings pro shops and stuff, because Kevin Seifert put a photo out of one. They took the Kirk jerseys away from the Jeffersons
TCO.
and they put Dobbs next to Jefferson. How quickly we just forget about Kirk Cousins.
Who's winning games for you? That's a question.
Well, Kirk was before he got hurt.
Well,
but now Dobbs
and Creed being played a lot here. So
during the game, like
you
between timeouts,
would love this. That's Kirk's music being played, and it's Dobbs the quarterback. It's like a
pregame or during the actual game.
During the actual game that they played Creed, and then at the end, I think when it was official that the Vikings were going to win the game, they played Creed, and the fans started to sing along to "Can You Take Me Higher?"
Yeah, I heard that.
Amazing.
So it's Kirk's music.
Broadcast. You could hear it.
Can you guys believe it? Coming off
I
the
love
top.
how that's become the rally. It's
Josh
funny,
Dobbs off the top row.
Josh Dobbs is the one that's taking the Vikings higher in the NFC standings here. Football life comes at you fast. All right, who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
All right, let's go to Jake next here on Vent Line. Jake, what's up, man? Oh, you're just muted, Jake. You got to unmute yourself on the side here.
How's that?
There
Much
we go.
better.
Yeah, let's do it.
First time, long time. Judd, I'm going to ignore the second half. Do you have a flag to wave?
I don't, because I'm in the press box, and it'd be very unprofessional. Phil's got something, I think.
I've got a koozie. And I have actually, you know what? I have a large blanket here. Hold on a second.
There you go. There you go. XXL.
What's he going to the beach?
Yeah.
There's like holes in it.
Looks like you're going to the beach
Hasn't
for the
been
day.
washed ever in 5 years. Yeah.
I love it. So I'm choosing to ignore the second half here. In the first,
screw the second half. Doesn't matter.
That's the most fired up I've been in a while. And what's exciting is even for this year, I mean, this year is going to be great, but the culture that KOC is building is going to carry over into as long as he's the Vikes head coach. So I've got a hot take for you guys for next year if you'd like it.
Let's go right now.
Hit me.
Jake,
All right.
Come on, Jake.
Next year, Kirk Cousins going to come back for under $10 million and bring the Vikes to at least the NFC Championship game.
Whoa, Jake. That's a hot take right there.
I like it.
Under 10. So he's going to want to be a part of it so much. The Vikings are going to say, dude, like, you're not going to make 40 million with us. You're not going to make 30. He says, I want to be here. I'll play for 8.
That's right. He loves Minnesota. His kids are in school here. Doesn't want to take them out. Kirk's a Minnesota guy through and through now. He's staying under 10.
If that happens, I'm in.
What if Dobbs continues to play? What if Dobbs continues to play really well?
Well, then we got a situation like the Saints where Derek Carr gets, you at least have Jameis who can come in. Right?
Yeah, but you might. It's funny. You might have to pay. Dude, Jake, thanks for coming on. By the way, love the hot takery right there. What's funny is you're gonna have to pay Joshua Dobbs. If Josh Dobbs plays like this, I'm not saying he's getting a Joe Burrow contract, but his agent's gonna look at that Geno Smith contract, right?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely.
Say it's the same thing. In fact, Geno's older. Geno's like in his early 30s, so you could even make a case if you're the agent, say, well, my guy's got more tread on the tires, so he's going to get more than $25 million a year.
But O'Connell has spent his entire head coaching career here until now, going to his favorite restaurant and eating the same exact thing, and it's pretty good. He likes
good meal.
Yep. And all of a sudden, he went to Atlanta, and somebody brought him a new meal that had just a whole bunch of different tasty things. And he's like, "Oh my God, this is really good too. I've been doing the same thing over and over. Why don't I expand my horizons?"
But there's other tasty foods out there. It's
so like,
crazy.
but this is what I'm saying is, won't Kevin O'Connell also think? Hold on a second here too. And what if he says, I can get a better Josh Dobbs? Because I mean, it's not Kirk's fault. Kirk can't be this guy. Like what we saw today. Like what's the score of this game today?
That's my question to you, because there's clearly throws, especially if we were to sit down 100%. With our guy Booney, right, and we were to look at the all 22. There are clearly plays that Dobbs isn't making that Kirk would make. There's throws like that one throw that Dobbs skipped it on a third down. Like Kirk completes that pass to a tight end. So there's some plays in there, but there's also some plays in there that Dobbs absolutely made. The touchdown where he's scrambling for his life, right? I don't know that is there an open throw that he missed and then he just took the hard way, which he did in Atlanta. So the things that Dobbs does that Kirk can't versus the things in the throws Kirk can make that Dobbs can't. Where is that scale at? That's the question.
100%. And let me give you a little appetizer tease for next week or a couple weeks. You're going to add the filet-man Justin Jefferson back to this equation. What can you do with that? What can you do with that?
And Potatoes Al Osborne are coming back too at some point.
That's the point. That's the point. So do you really want to be stuck with a really good side of broccoli?
I enjoy broccoli myself.
Yeah, I do too. I do too. That's my point. I do too. I love broccoli, but my point is now I'm introducing all these different sides. It's like,
who's the broccoli again? I've lost my way here. Who's the broccoli?
I'm saying Kirk is like broccoli to me. Very solid. I like broccoli.
You're saying Kirk is broccoli and Dobbs is a fillet?
No. I'm saying Jefferson is a fillet.
Jefferson's the fillet.
JJ is. So I'm putting the fillet back in the meal with a different quarterback component.
Got it. Okay. I love the food. I love the food analogy. Love it.
But broccoli, I love too. I'm with you guys on broccoli.
And
especially if you're trying to lose weight, you can mix in broccoli.
God, yeah.
You can mix in healthy, but you can also like live your life with our friends at Livia, right?
Mm-hmm. Look at that guy right there, down 40 pounds now. A couple of years ago, a guy that started to mix in broccoli, a guy who underwent a lifestyle change, but most importantly, didn't have to change his life. And do I have an offer for you right now? It is their pre-Black Friday event. Join today, and you're going to get 50% off your personalized program. You're going to lose up to 10 pounds in your first 2 weeks and up to 20 pounds or more before the calendar hits 2024. It's the best offer of the year and runs through Friday, 855. Go LIVEA, Livea.com. Again, their best offer of the year. Get more details, LIVEA.com. You can join inside or outside the state because the whole thing can be done virtually. But I'm telling you right now, guys, lose weight instead of gaining it this time of year and get a great deal too. 50% off a personalized program. Broccoli, not too bad.
Yeah. The Vikings playoff chances are now over 70% based on the research Declan brought us from, was it 538 last week at 6-4, great conference record. The Lions are at this point up by 2 touchdowns on the Chargers on the road. So they might not get to climb up against the Lions here, but we'll keep an eye on that. Who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Let's go to Ian next year on Vikings Vent Line. Hi, Ian. How are you?
Hey, guys. Skull from Australia. Thanks so much for your passionate broadcasts each week and your various shows. I'm just excited. Dobbs is a great quarterback from a fan's point of view. And I love what Jed says about being a mobile quarterback. That's awesome. I'm so keen to see what he can do when JJ comes back. I think there's going to be some interesting combos there. And I think TJ Hawkinson's so underrated. I think he's improving week by week. great to have him. I think he's a tough guy. It's 5 a.m. I get to watch these games most weeks, so I'm so excited about the next 2 weeks at 12 p.m. my time. Yay!
Let's go.
So I'm going to trump Jake here and say I think we can go all the way. Super Bowl before we die. This could be the year. Skull.
Ian from Australia, dude. Thanks for coming on, spreading some
What
international love
dedication,
on this.
too. That's awesome, Ian.
A little early rising there. I love it, man. It's fun seeing some of the international Vikings fans jump in here too, and just see that it's crazy how many Vikings fans are across the entire. And there's all sorts of bandwagon fans of like teams that win championships. Like, oh, there's a Patriots fans pop up out of nowhere, or Giants fans. Vikings fans haven't won a championship ever, or the Vikings haven't, and yet fans just sort of pop up from different countries, and it's super fun to watch. Let's keep going here. Vikings Vent Line.
All right, let's go to Joe next. Joe, what's up, man?
Joe.
Guys, what's going on?
What's going on, Joe? Yeah, we got you, dude. Yep.
Oh my gosh, dude, I'm so hyped up right now. This is the most hyped I've been since I can remember. Like, it's just so much fun, dude.
Yeah, man. So what do you think? Like, I mean, you got the Kirk Cousins jersey on here, showing respect. How far can they go with backup quarterbacks here with Josh Dobbs?
I mean, it feels kind of like a Linsanity run, to be honest. You know, like maybe they get like maybe a playoff game out of this, but I'm treating it kind of like a free roll. Because, you know, your season was like over after Kirk goes down. I'm just here for whatever happens at this point.
Yeah. I love it is kind of a Linsanity thing. Joe with a great analogy. Thanks for coming on, man. Where it's like this dude takes the league by storm for 1 year and he's unstoppable, and then his career kind of fizzled. So we'll see.
And you were 1-4. You were 1-4. Your season felt done with Kirk at the time.
Yeah, 6-4 now. Let's keep it rocking here on Vikings Vent Line.
All right, I don't think we've heard from him all year. Pulford Skull.
Pulford
What is
Skull,
up, my guy?
Walker, Texas Ranger.
What's up, gentlemen?
Dude.
I am heading back from North Carolina, currently in South Carolina. I got the horses on behind me. Doing a little bit of cowboy mounted shooting. Got the Jefferson shirt on. But hey, Mackie, I got something for you.
What do you got for me?
I'm Kenny Albert, and I'm live to you from the highway. I've got Jonathan.
No, I'm Kenny Albert. I'm Kenny Albert. You're not Kenny Albert.
No, I'm Kenny Albert.
I'm Kenny Albert, and it's the Bears and the Packers from Lambeau Field.
I missed you guys. How's everybody doing?
Dude, we missed you too. We're doing better than we were a month and a half ago, and we were trying to figure out, all right, we're going to do mock draft shows in October, apparently. Screw this team.
All right,
and now there's hope.
So the way I've got it lined up now is the NFL scriptwriters have done a good job putting the Lions at the back half of the season to set up for some entertaining football.
What do you think? What's going to happen?
Well, it's setting up for another 2017 Case Keenum, Minneapolis Miracle.
And what we've seen from this year's team, by the way, Pulford Skull, one of our favorites. Got to get you back on to write that down again sometime. We're getting a little bit of a disconnecting connection there, but we haven't talked about this yet. This was supposed to be a letdown game. If you look at Vikings history, right? Big emotional win. You know, just oh man, the Vikings have hit a new peak as they're climbing the mountain. And then the next week, okay, can you carry it over? And then like the Buffalo game last year, and then Dallas comes in and beats you 100-6 or whatever the score was. You know, he talks about the Minneapolis Miracle, and then they waltz into Philadelphia. And they did throw the first punch in that game, but that was the only punch that they threw basically. So like today's game easily could have been a letdown. So whether it's Kevin O'Connell or the locker room players, whatever it was, or maybe part of it was the Saints too coming out kind of flat. They probably added to the cause, some bad penalties, but impressive to just not have an emotional letdown in this game today.
And don't sleep on Flores and this defense too, because to me that's a huge part of it. Like they set a tone pretty consistently now, which is really impressive. Which you did not get. You know, part of the reason along with the disappearing offense at times a year ago, that this team had to come back so much, I thought, was the defense got pushed around. And they made some plays, but they got pushed around a lot, and don't give up too many, don't give up a big play. And it's like they never, when in 2022 did you feel like the defense came out and threw a punch?
They didn't. They were actively not punching. Yeah.
Right. This defense comes out in games and throws punches. I mean, Carr didn't have a chance. Carr looked hopeless today. And that's a credit to the blitzes. It's a credit to the fact that I think the Saints thought in the first half that Flores was going to blitz a ton, and he actually didn't. He pulled back. This defense, I can't say this enough, is so well coached, and I think players have rallied around that in a huge way.
Have you guys seen that video? It's like it's become a meme. It's like people have turned into a GIF of Jameis Winston doing like the tackling dummy passing drill, where he's like got two assistant coaches just like smoking him with like pads, and he's like cranking his shoulders and then just like throwing bombs down the field. That was the second half of that game today. Just Jameis Winston just dodging traffic, left, right, closes his eyes, throws the ball down the field. Olave caught a couple of them, and so did the Vikings.
Well, but those two picks he threw were just so desperation, and they weren't desperate yet. But anyway, I thought that when Carr was in this game, and he's obviously the quarterback that they game planned for, I mean, the Vikings were just punching the Saints. I mean, they did not have a chance. And look, the Dobbs story is great. A lot of the things about what the offense has done the last 2 weeks is great. But I think the backbone of this team is that defense, which is amazing to say.
Yeah, it's sort of, the amount of times they've held opponents under 20. I haven't compared it to last year, but I feel like they only did it like 3 times maybe last year. Maybe Declan can look that up. All right, let's keep rocking here on Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
All right, I think Vikings fan 47 is waving the flag here.
Uh-oh.
Waving the flag, Phil.
Hold on.
He's waving the flag.
Phil, I think you're fine. I think
you're okay, Phil.
He's got him.
Oh, amazing.
Fellas, love it.
Dude, what's going on?
My wife has a take. She's out there. She's like, no. She's like, I'm not doing it. It's early. This is my daughter, biggest Vikings fan at 3 years old. She's a little bashful.
Hi.
Say hello, Rose. There you go. So my wife's take is sign Joshua Dobbs to a 2-year deal, $8 to $10 million a year with heavy incentives, and pick up a few more players and draft a QB. Let's go! Let's go!
Wave the flag! Wave the flag! Wave the flag!
Oh!
Get that flag. Dude, that's like, you see those dude, Vikes fan 47, thanks for coming on. You see those American flags outside of Perkins restaurants where it's like the flag is bigger than the restaurant? That's the size of that Vikings flag, I feel like.
That was a great flag, man. That was fantastic.
Judge, you're going to have to step your flag game up when you get home after seeing this.
I'm going to have to buy a new one.
All right, who's next on Vikings Vent Line?
Yeah, a few more left here. We'll go to Herschel next. Herschel, what's up, dude? And another flag waiver.
We have a Herschel W on the show here. Herschel W.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we got you.
Here's a flag for you, Judd. I know your shoulders got tired last week.
Yeah, wave it. Wave that thing.
Flags of all sizes here on Vikings Vent
Line. There you go.
Yeah, keep waving.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well done.
I just wanted to say Dobbs looked pretty good out there. There's a few passes that scared me. The one that almost got picked off. If he can clean up his passing game, I mean, our offense is looking pretty legit.
Yeah, dude, thanks for coming on, you guys. Herschel, appreciate the flag waving there too. He's not the polished passer that Kirk is. And I think we all sort of, not all of us, but it's okay. The first game was the crisis game because Kevin had to navigate through the headset but now he's got a week of practice. Yeah, a week of practice in an NFL regular season where all these other teams have had, going back to OTAs and mini camps. And so it's not if these people complaining about the second half, and maybe I'm just like going off social media. Oh my God, what happened in the second half? What do you mean what happened in the second half? They're on a 4th string quarterback with two of their top 3 wide receivers hurt. TJ Hawkinson's got ribs coming out of his body. Like, you thought they were just going to score 50 points in every game going forward? Pets' heads are falling off.
O'Connell,
of course they're going to go through some
O'Connell
slow
got
spurts
a little
offensively.
conservative though, so I get that. I'm more concerned about the conservative play calling than how Dobbs played. Like, there's nothing about Dobbs' play that concerns me. I just want Kevin to keep the gas pedal down a little bit more, and it felt like he came off of it too much.
What I'd love to know, and maybe we'll hear about this sort of in the post game and tomorrow. Did Kevin go conservative because we got to protect the lead, and it was just like a classic coach being conservative, or did he see some things? Because Dobbs tries to turn the ball over sometimes. He's super fun to watch, but he's a little bit more reckless than Kirk is, just the nature of how he plays, right? Did Kevin see and sense some things? Okay, the Saints are making some adjustments. My guy knows more of the playbook now, but he doesn't know everything yet. And so let's save him from himself a little bit here. We think we can win this game without going too crazy. Let's try to run the ball. I think their goal was, let's just jam the ball down the Saints' throats in the second half and let's run it. Let's run it. Yep. And I appreciate the sentiment, but they still haven't been able to get their running game going for, a full 3 hours.
I was a little bit surprised. What were Dobbs' carries in the second half himself?
I'll have to look it up.
Do you have those?
Maybe Declan can look that up.
Declan, do you have those at your disposal?
Yeah. 8 carries overall for 44 yards. I don't recall what the split was.
By the way, Kevin O'Connell at the podium said on the Vikings' offensive struggles in the second half, quote, "It's totally on me. I got to give our guys a better opportunity to move the ball," end quote. Just a full summary.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree with that.
There you go.
I agree. I will say this. The positive is this. If this game is the Ty Chandler game where we transition to him playing more, which he definitely did, that is a overall positive. And Madison got concussed, so he might not be available a week from tonight in Denver anyway. But if we are to a point now where it's going to become a committee a little bit more or a lot more, because the Madison thing, I don't know what else you have to see to declare as constructed until today. It's just not working.
Yep. Let's keep
today
rocking
felt
here.
Good about that.
Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
We got a couple guys with pups here. We'll start with Robert.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Robert, what's going on, man?
I gotta say that this is a really good win, man. It seems like things are moving positive. A little concerned with the defense at the end, but I think we can move forward.
Yeah, it got a little shaky there, and thank you, Robert, for coming on here. It got a little shaky, and Jameis Winston looked like he might actually just close his eyes and throw a touchdown pass to tie it. But but that's the thing. Games are gonna look ugly for chunks for most NFL teams. So I'm trying to parse apart there's a certain level of ugliness, and other teams are gonna score versus things that need to be fixed going forward.
Yeah, here's my question too. So Carr gets hurt, and Carr had done nothing, right? Winston comes in. Now you've game planned for Carr. Jameis Winston is a very different QB. Yeah. Jameis Winston makes throws. That throw, it was a dumb throw, but it was incredible. Across his body for the touchdown was a absolutely nuts throw. So he makes that throw. It's caught. Touchdown, right? But that's the same guy then who sabotaged himself with 2 terrible picks. So if Jameis Winston had started today and had come back and won, I'd be much more concerned. I think when you replace Carr with Winston, and Winston's going to do some incredibly cool things athletically, but then some stupid things as well, I guess I'm not as down on the defense, because I think they basically just try to, in some cases, hold on with help from Winston, who indeed did help them in the last quarter.
Yep. All right, let's keep it going here. Vikings Vent Line, Purple Daily YouTube channel.
All right, is it Steven or is it Stefan?
Stefan.
Stefan.
Thank you guys.
From Toronto, man.
Show. Love you guys. It's her first time on the show. She's a big Vikings fan. This
Who's a good girl?
Oh yeah, it was a very good girl.
She's like, that was great, but it was so frustrating in the second half because it's just, why can't you, pardon the expression, but why can't you curb stomp teams, the way you should? And they had an opportunity to just put it away, and Josh Dobbs slipped. It is what it is, but just overall, they had an opportunity to put this away and to be convincing, to have a convincing win. And it was convincing, but it wasn't as convincing as it could have been.
Yeah.
And that's my frustration. So, yeah.
I think we might have a dog date happening during your Stefan bringing some good Vikings takes while we have like a virtual dog date happening here.
Is that the Vinster?
That's the Vinster, yeah.
The Vinster. Look at the camera, Vinny.
Her nickname sometimes is the Keister, which I understand has, overtones, but
not really.
Long distance relationships can be tough. They can be tough.
Yeah.
So
difficult, and she's happy to have. She'll take all, any kind of relationship she can get.
Hey, Stefan, thanks for coming on, and Keister, appreciate you guys. Oh man, Vinny was testing out that microphone there too.
Yeah, he was. He really knows how it works with the licking and the yawns. You gotta be a little better.
Sees you do it.
Yep.
Yeah, he watches his dad every day.
Mm-hmm.
Who do we got next on Vikings Vent Line here?
All right, let's go to DeMarco next year. DeMarco,
guys.
man.
A sweet jersey.
Let's go. Hey, you guys see the jersey? This guy, you know what?
Sweet.
We paid him. We were talking about him earlier this season. Like, should we have paid him? But you know what? He stepped in. We saw it. He took the hits. He took the licks. And it's worth the money of what we're paying, guys. Guys, I'm enjoying myself on a nice, crisp day. I'm enjoying it with my good stepdad here. He's getting the Kingsford rocking.
Oh, let's go.
I'll tell you what, we're getting it rolling. That's what Josh Dobbs is. That's Josh Dobbs. He was cooking today.
Just cooking, yeah, no question about it.
Second half, it is what it is. But again, we were playing a solid defense again. And if you can show up and show out and do that, let's just keep it rocking, see what we're rolling. Guys, I don't know what I really want to say right now, but I'll tell you what. Keep Skull alive, Skull to the ball. If he is an aerospace engineer and can take us to the moon, he's going to take us to the Super Bowl.
Let's go. To the
Las Vegas.
Yes, sir.
Sin City.
Right now, let's go. Hey, no doubt. Hey, Vikings fans, I love you guys. Let's go. Let's just keep it rocking. Ride the wave. It is what it is. It's going to be ups. It's going to be downs. But you know what? It's a blessing in disguise. Let's go.
DeMarco, thanks for closing us out here, man. That's a great
2 trips
great
this year,
message,
boys. Sin City, 2 trips.
I saw your tweet.
They're going in December, and maybe they're going back in February.
It's gonna be great, dude. We're heading toward here in a month from now. We're gonna get the Wolves winning the NBA in-season tournament in Vegas, and then like the day after that, Vikings beating Raiders, all setting up for a path.
And then going back to Vegas.
Going back to Vegas. Let's
go.
Back
to Vegas. Can you imagine that place rocking with Vikings fans?
Yes, I can. Boy. Yes, I can. Amazing. Any final thoughts from you guys here before? And by the way, we have tomorrow. We're going to be live again on the Purple Daily YouTube channel at 9:00 a.m. Central Time. We've got multiple Purple Daily shows for you tomorrow and throughout Tuesday. Booney's going to help us break down what was happening in the trenches. Some really interesting plays to break down with him. But just final thoughts, Judd, from the stadium before we say goodbye here.
I felt like at the outset of today's game in the stadium, there was excitement, but it was a pretty sedate crowd, right? It's week 10. It's the Saints. It's not that sexy. That first half, though, this place was rocking. It was awesome. And I do think that there is a feeling about this team right now that I have not experienced since 2017, dare I say, which to me is incredible. You were 0-3, you were 1-4. Your season was in the toilet. And it's like, this is a separate year. It's unbelievable. But anyway, I sense the excitement from the fan base now is just huge, and they're engaged. And that's a credit to a lot of folks. Starts with O'Connell, Kwesi for the Dobbs trade. So this is now officially gone from being bummer to a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's been fun to see that. I think the 2017 comparison is interesting because, like, yes, this Vikings defense is playing better, but that team was relied on the defense with the complementary offense. Now it feels the roles are reversed to a degree, right? Like the offense is good and it's got a complementary defense.
To a degree, but I mean, this defense, man, I'm telling you, don't sleep on.
Well, I mean, but like the 2017 defense set like records, and
it was the best defense in the NFL that year.
Yes, it wasn't even like this is a good defense, but that's how they won games in 2017 was with complementary offensive play and stout defense. Yeah. But I do like this defense too.
There's a step to go for sure before this defense would get to the 2007, and that 2017 defense had like a shutdown corner in Xavier Rhodes. But it is impressive how, if you take away those first 3 games where they were trying to figure out how to operate the Brian Flores, I bet you if we were to look at the defense after the 3rd game or after the 2nd game, like whenever they started to dial it in, it's top 10 in a lot of categories. It's top 10 in some categories, even including the bad start defensively. Yeah. So, yeah, I think my main takeaway is just I'm so impressed with how Kevin O'Connell has kept this thing together after an 0-3 and 1-4 start. The culture that they're building here, the fact that you can take away this established, really good veteran pocket passing quarterback that's been pretty much the every snap guy since the beginning of the 2018 season. You take him out of this thing and you put someone in who wasn't even on the team 2 weeks ago, and they can have their highest scoring offensive output last week, and then they were a field goal away from having their 2nd highest scoring output. I think it was their 3rd highest scoring game with 27 points. They lost and scored 28 points to the Chargers, I think it was, early in the season. So they can just plug a dude in and keep scoring an average of 30 points a game. It's super impressive, and we're excited to see where this thing goes here as your
Vegas, baby.
As your leaders here on Purple Daily of whatever bandwagon this is.
Elvis, man. That's where we're going.
Dude, I don't think Vegas. He's been there for like 50 years.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. He symbolizes it.
I love what Judd's thought with Vegas isn't like the spear. It's not.
No, it's Elvis. It's Elvis Presley, man. Blue Christmas without you. Nope.
Oh my God.
That's what it's all about.
Amazing, man. Well, if you want to hear Judd, if you want to see Judd dress up in an Elvis jumpsuit and hear him sing Elvis tunes, you better hope the Vikings keep winning here. Thank you guys.
If they make it, that's exactly what I'm doing. Okay. I'll do a whole show in the Elvis costume.
Okay, you're on, for better or worse. You're on.
Exactly.
Thank you guys for hanging with us here. Vikings win, 6-4 record after an 0-3 and 1-4 start. Judd from the stadium, Declan and Phil. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning on Purple Daily, daily Vikings entertainment, where we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.